Just made it back from an auction. It's a farm auction, and all this stuff is really greasy and grimy, and we're digging for some stuff that we can salvage and sell. In here is this thing here. It's a hydraulic splitter, log splitter that fits on the 3-point, so I'm going to keep that for my tractor. I got a really good deal on that, so I want to keep that and use it for the big pieces that I can't split on my little electric one. Also, this shelf here, I kind of like it. I'm going to put that in a chicken coop, probably clean it up a little bit, and then my chickens can use that to lay their eggs in. But we're digging around here, we're finding some pretty neat stuff. I also bought a sledgehammer. Also in the truck there's a bench grinder. I finally bought a bench grinder. But the good thing about most of this stuff is that it all has numbers on it. I have lots and lots of bolts, big, small, you name it. They got bolts and chains for days. This thing's kind of neat looking. I'm not sure what that would have been used for. Some sort of duster, or not sure, but Lincoln, I'll look it up in good time. A Craftsman drill. This hydraulic block. I'm going to clean that up, and you can clean it up and pull it apart, clean up the inside. This thing here is from an international, I think it's a tractor, international tractor, but it's a valve for your hydraulics, and it has a casing number there, and I looked that up, and there's one guy is on eBay trying to sell his for $650, so I could make all my money back and more just on this one piece. And for now I'm kind of stacking everything on this pallet. So I have a gearbox over here, I'm not sure what that is from, and a couple hubs, barrel, pump, and this thing here is a water pump, but I don't know, that looks pretty rough. I'm not sure if it's supposed to have this, I don't know, it's all falling apart, but they still make these, Hypro, they still make those pumps. They usually range in the $300 mark, but I'll take it apart and try cleaning it up and maybe sell it. I got the truck emptied out, and you know, it's okay. Nothing that has jumped out at me that screams, you know, big money. Just old farm junk. There's the splitter. The splitter is really dirty. I don't know where they pulled this thing out of. It looks like they pulled out of a swamp. The valve is red. Could never tell. It's got so much stuff caked onto it. So I imagine this thing is leaking from somewhere, and won't know where until I finally plug it in. But it may be leaking there. Maybe the valve is leaking. The hoses are cracking, so I may want to replace that. I don't think these are long enough anyways to reach my, yeah, they could probably reach. Let's see. Yeah, that could probably reach. Oh yeah. But we'll see. I got a top link with it. That's good. I've been wanting a bench grinder for a long time, and they always seem to go for more money than I'm willing to spend. But I finally said to heck with it, and I bought this one. I think I paid around 50 or 60 bucks for it. Yeah, probably too much for what it is. It's an old one. Some louse powder. Lovely. Fly traps. What's this? Or delousing for a bunch of barn insecticide stuff. That's great. I don't need that. I'll have to dispose of that somehow. Another veterinary syringe, I think. What is this? Veterinary use only. Some sort of gel. So that came in with all of this stuff. So I got like silicone spray, hardware stuff, not very exciting. I did get this little thing here. Also got this little box of goodies-ish. Oh my goodness, what is that? What does that say? Boost oil? Boss oil? Yeah, Boost oil. Oh my god, what is that? From 1986. Look at that. Oh, that's nasty. I just want to know what that is. Like, what is that? That's gross. If any of you know, if you have any idea what that is, guys, let me know. That's gross. Oh, a little bit of hardware down there. Old hardware. Yeah, nothing very exciting in this lot. I think I only bought it for a couple bucks. So all in all, I did okay. I mean, there was a couple good pieces that I'll be able to resell. A lot of chain. A lot of chain. Don't know much about this stuff. I do have a parts washer, or not a parts washer, a ultrasonic cleaner coming in the mail. So maybe I'll try and test it out with some of these really dirty chains. Yeah. We'll see. It's just some other big hardware stuff that I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep this. I think that's a belt that you can, you know, put around your pulley without having to take like a fan blade off or something. You know, so that's just kind of clips into each other. But because I kind of need one for my tractor. I got one that's a belt that goes around my alternator and the water pump that's falling apart. But in order to replace that belt, you basically have to take apart your whole front end. It's crazy. So another box of chain down there, and this other pallet over here. So I'm going to save this for now and kind of go through it bit by bit and figure out what it is and if it has value. You know, something like this, for example, it has a number on it. So you just have to look that up and do your research, and you know, someone's probably looking for these things. So that's the plan. And there was one other thing I wanted to show you from yesterday. I didn't realize what I had here, but these bolts, these fasteners are good. It's a bucket full of, and they're all the same size. So I cleaned this one up on the wire wheel. And if you don't know, bolts have different gradings. So not all bolts are made the same. So this one is F. You see right there on the head, it's stamped F. So that's a mid-grade bolt. I had to look it up online. So yeah, mid-grade. It's not really soft. It's not really hard, but still, yeah. So it's worth something. And then I can, you know, figure out what the thread is, size them up, and figure out a price for all these, because it's a heavy bucket full of all the same size bolts. Yeah, so that's like I think it's 1/2 inch, and then it's 2 inches long. Yeah, it's something. I'm going to do a little scrap run. Actually, it's an e-waste run, and this marks the end of an era. Let's see what we got here. The last bit of e-waste that I have collected over the years from my drop-off bin that I used to have, and that is it, all in one trailer and a few TVs in the back, and that'll be the last of it. I'm really happy to get rid of it all. I know you guys were always really excited to see whatever I got at my drop-off bin, and I'm sorry about that, but it is not something I wanted to do any longer. It was just a bit of a pain for me to do it. Yeah, good thing this place is still open. I forgot to check to see if it was, but yeah, scrap yards are still wide open for business. Pretty much everything else isn't, though. But anyways, going to get loaded up here on the scale, drop off all the e-waste, make a little bit of gas money from coming out here. Yeah, I don't make very much money at all from this e-waste. So there we go, we're all done. TVs, 1,220 pounds at 3 cents a pound is $36.60. Well, we made our gas money and a little bit hauling this stuff across the city. All I have to do is just go in the hut, scan the ticket, get the money, and on to the next adventure. So this finally came in the mail today, and it's my ultrasonic cleaner. I bought it from Amazon. It got shipped from China. It took about 17 days to get here. I think that's pretty reasonable, and I bought it for 140 Canadian. And it's a bit different than some of the other ultrasonic cleaners that you may see on Amazon. I'll show you why in a second. But this is the 6-liter model, which is probably as low as you want to go. You don't want to go for the smaller ones. Get the lid, the basket, and a power cord. That's what it looks like inside. You just have one drain there and a ball valve to drain all your fluids. So this one I noticed was a bit different than the other ones that I saw online because of this knob. So you have minimum power going all the way to maximum power, and I have not seen that on any other models. Now this one was quite a bit cheaper than the other ones that I saw, probably about $70 cheaper. So I saw it and I was like, ah, sure, I'll get that. And since I bought it, they've taken down the listing. So I think I have the only one that has this. But otherwise, it looks very similar to pretty much all the other ultrasonic cleaners that you see. Alright, so let me show you guys what I got here. There's a big excavator in the back field. They're taking out a tree line. So that's what that noise is. Also, of course, got the usual rush hour traffic going by. But yeah, this is my little toy here for the summer. Yeah, we got a 1965 3-horsepower Evinrude outboard. All in one package. You just got your gas tank on it. No battery needed. You just pop this thing on the back of your boat and go. Picked this up from a guy in town here. He was advertising it. And I thought, oh, I've been looking for one for a while, so a little bit more than I want to spend. But I said, I'll get it anyways. And this is a collapsible one, so this thing folds up if you want to put it in a suitcase and take it with you. Although I don't have a case for it, but maybe I will make a case, just for fun. It's also missing the bottom cover. But it's a 360, you know, you can move it all the way around. And yeah, so when I bought it, he had it running, but it was leaking gas out of the carb, and he says he can't get it to go past this mark here, so he put a mark on the top here. So whenever you throttle up, you can't get it past that mark, and it stalls out, and it stops. And you know, so I took it knowing that, and I'm fairly confident. You know, there's a big puddle. When I got there's a big puddle of gas on the ground. So the carb, it looks like it's been done recently. I'm just putting it back together right now. All the gaskets kind of look relatively new. Float looks new. So I'm just going to put it back together and see if it leaks, but with the high tack on it. Yeah, so that's going to be the job. Time for a little update on this outboard. Having a little bit of a hard time with it. Start down at the bottom. I put new oil in, and it's leaking. I think all it is just there's no gap. The gasket on the bottom plug here, I think, is bad, so it's leaking a little bit. I got 2 puddles here. One is for the gear oil, and one is for the carburetor. The carburetor is just leaking. Let me turn this thing around here. So I took the fuel hose off just to show you guys something here. So yeah, this bottom bowl is just wet. The whole thing is wet. I can't tell where it's leaking from. So the guy I bought it from, he said he was a duck hunter. So what I think happened is, because there's no cover on this. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on, I just saw something. So it could be 2 different things. It could be there's no cover on it, so it hit. So they dropped it and actually hit right here. You can see this tube is bent. It's bent this way, so there's a bit of a gap. Now I tested it and there's no air coming through there. There's no gas coming through here, but I don't know. I think it this bottom bowl is just not seating. See, it's just, there's gas all over it. It's all over the bottom here. And I think it's actually leaking gas somewhere in the back. Regardless of where it's leaking from, I think the casing of this thing is defective. So you can't find aftermarket carbs for this thing. So you have to salvage. I don't know, I feel like he kind of snookered me a little bit on this, but I think it's going to be okay. So one of two things is that he dropped it without there being a cover on it, and you know, it banged this. Or I just thought of this is that he didn't include the cover because the cover has been smashed, so he kind of just threw that out. So either way, I don't know, either way it got some damage, and but I think I'll be okay, and I'll tell you why. I'll show you here in a second. Let's go outside. Yeah, so this is what I bought just today. Just came home with it. So this outboard I just bought for $100, and the seller was pretty good. You know, he's pretty upfront about everything. This one here, it has a bad coil, as you can see there. So he said, you know, it's $40. You can buy a new coil, and it will work. He said it will work fine. But what I'm going to do is just use the parts from this and use it on my outboard right now. So this one's from 1956, and I made sure I looked it up online, and the carb part numbers is the same as mine. So this carb should work on mine, and it is, from what I can tell, it looks fine. And this one here has the covers. There's the two bottom covers, so I think what I'll do is transplant those two onto mine. And mine has a real funky design on it. I think he decorated it to blend for duck hunting or some sort of camouflage for when they go hunting. So, but this one here has you know, the more true colors that this machine's supposed to have. There's the flywheel there. So what I did, I took the coil starter rope thingy from my donor outboard, which is right there. I took that off. The fuel tank as well. There's another bracket right here that the fuel tank bolts onto, and then the shroud. So there's two parts of this lower shroud. So all that is from the donor motor, along with the bowl of the carburetor. So yeah, I switched out just the lower part of the carburetor, the bowl, and it's no more leaking. It's pretty good. There's one part of that is this guy was using a plastic nylon nut to thread on the fuel line. It's leaking a little bit, so I have to change that. But other than that, I have no more leaks at all. So, and now I have just a whole bunch of spare parts. There's what my original motor came with. So you have the pull start and the tank, gas tank, and then this bracket here. And yeah, I think another thing that makes me believe why this was dropped or bent was this piece here was actually pretty difficult to get on to the motor. So there was another bracket that this bolts onto, and that bracket's bent. So I think this thing got dropped pretty hard, or got hit pretty hard at one point. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of different parts that I can keep. I got another prop. There's the old bowl for the carburetor. You can see how badly that thing's bent there. And it looks like at some point somebody, you know, you can look right here. It looks like somebody used some Permatex or something to try and repair this. But no matter what I did, I'm just going to keep it for now. No matter what I did, I just couldn't get that to stop leaking. Yeah. And then, so I got a bunch of spare parts. I may sell some stuff. I may probably just keep some stuff. And then I have this whole thing too. So that's awesome. So now, yeah, I can just take this up with me, and I got the fuel mixtures just right. You know, what I like to do is just have a gas can and just write the fuel mixture on there. So I'm using a 24-to-1 mixture. Cool. it took about 20 pulls, right?
Yeah, about.
Not that. Mainly because there's two different dials, one for the high speed idle and one for the low speed idle. You have to have it just right. So you're just tuning the carb on the go. Not too bad though. I think I got the hang of it a little bit. But I think this is its top speed too. Kind of weak sauce. You guys think?
It could go faster.
Yeah, it could go a little faster.
I think it's good.
Think it's good?
Yeah.
Alright, I can deal with that. Well, that was successful. It's a bit slower than I thought. But it's nice and portable. You know, I could just carry that thing. Put it on the back of this. Except we went across that. And that was really choppy. There's some big yachts making some big waves out there. It was a little sketchy.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a bit sketchy, but we made it to our favorite little beach. Came here last year. It's a nice little place to relax and go for a little swim. It's nice and shallow, pretty far, and do a little fishing. There's a little river that comes out through here, so it's pretty cold. It's kind of neat. We've done some exploring up the river before, and we went to, there was a big highway bridge. Saw some neat things there. I don't think we'll do it this year. Last year we brought the canoe in through here, but I'm a little bit worried about leaving the motor by itself. So I don't know, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll go up a little ways. This is nice and cold. Oh, that's really cold.
This place is so cold.
Yeah. And then Spencer, you want to tell us what happened up over there?
Over there,
Yeah.
we were coming back from the big walk.
Yeah.
And I tried to move the canoe, and then the branches over there
Yeah.
caught your like shorts.
Yeah.
So it dragged your knife down. So we had to come back here in like next week or something.
Yeah. This knife here, it fell off the canoe right over there, and then I didn't realize I lost it until we got all the way back. And then 2 weeks later, we came back here and we found the knife. Here on my workbench, this is the pump that I picked up at the farm auction, and I have it completely disassembled, and I cleaned it up quite a bit. It had so much grease in here. The farmer must have put like 2 or 3 tubes of grease into this thing, mainly because the bearing was shot. So he was probably hoping to fix that. So they sell kits to repair it and everything. So I bought this kit. These are leather cups, and it comes with the washers and bolts and everything. That was $74, and I bought a new bearing. I found one for $40. It's going to take a while for that to come in, but yeah, this one's pretty crunchy. You can kind of hear it there. Actually, it was attached to this cam, and I used my press to get that off. Reluctantly came off, but it did. But this thing here, I'm going to put it all back together, and I'm not sure if I'm going to resell it or just use it myself. So what these pumps can be used for is a dual piston pump. So this piece in here goes inside here, and it pushes up these leather cups through these pistons, and it can make pressure for water going in, water going out. So you can use this for all types of spraying applications. So it's a lot of of the agricultural sprayers will use something like this. And what I find interesting about this is that this particular model, you can connect it to your PTO shaft, and you can have you can use it as a pressure washer or a sprayer. So it kind of got me thinking, like I would love to have a pressure washer. I think that'd be really cool. So I'm just in the process of kind of putting it all together, and I had taken out all these little spring clips and valves. I took it out of these ports, and they were really hard to get out. So I'm just in the process of cleaning this off a little bit. The amount of grease that was on this thing was just incredible. Just incredible. Like I said, he must have was having problems with it, and he's just pumping. There's a grease zerk right there. So he must have just been pumping it like crazy. The new bearing for my pump came in. Here's the old one. Let's see if you can hear that. Okay. Hard to tell, I'm sure, on the camera, but it felt very crunchy. Here's the other one. Very nice and smooth. Okay, so that's the new one. It's a NSK 5209. So now the job is to press the bearing onto here. And can't remember how I took the other one off. I think it was easier to take it off than it is going to be to put this back on, just because it's a bit of an odd shape. Like there's not very much surface here that I can put a stop on. But it'll just slip over like that. Then I have to bring it over to my shop press here, and I have to try and figure out how I'm going to set this up. So I have this socket hanging over on this side, but it's right up against that side, so it's already starting to go on. Let's see here. Here. Work. And here's that pump, all done. It's like 90% done. I have it painted and sandblasted away most of the gunk that was in here. So yeah, it's 90% complete. And all I have to do is put the valve seats on this side and on that side on the bottom. And for whatever reason, I'm missing pieces. I was really careful in saving everything, which kind of makes me believe that it was missing something to begin with. But what I need is, I need 2 more of these. See, I have the spring. I have the spring and this valve seat for the sides, but I'm missing 2 other pieces. I don't know what happened to them. I must have misplaced them somewhere along the line. Like I said, I was pretty careful with everything. I don't know. So I looked online. I could buy a brand new set of 4 for around $70. So I'll probably do that, but I'm going to just shelf it for now because I have other things to do. But anyways, it was a fun little project. I like this little thing, and I just kind of wanted to do it to see if I could do it, because you know, challenge myself, do something new, and if I see that it's an expensive little pump, you know, it's worth doing. It's not a lot of effort put into this thing. These are the old valve cups, and I put the new ones in, so you can see here how loose it is. So there's actually quite a bit of play. So water, it wouldn't be able to make any kind of seal, so water could just brush past it. So the new one is in. Let's see if I can actually turn it. It's a little bit, feels a little bit stiff. You can kind of see how it works. And then the cup comes in, the cup goes back down. And that's all. You can hook that up to your tractor. Make a nice little pump. I probably won't keep it. I'll probably move it along. It's a little bit too much for me, but I'll show you what you can do with it. It's something I downloaded off the internet. And yeah, right here. See, you can make a pressure washer out of it. And you have to have like this called a surge tank. And this pump actually came with a homemade surge tank on it. So all you need after this is the hose and a storage tank for water. And away you go. You got a little pressure washer. I think that's really neat. But yeah, like I said, I'll probably just move it along to somebody else, make a little bit of money off of it. But yeah, I just did it kind of for fun mainly, and just to challenge myself. I feel like my confidence in fixing stuff is getting pretty good these days, so it's just another thing to do. And with that, it's another video done. And thanks for watching. Hit the like button, and we'll see you on the next one.